What is up, everybody? Episode 63, Patio Slave Podcast. It's Anthony coming at you. Another weekly episode. And we got Tony. We got Nate. What's up, fellas?
Yo. Oh, wait, yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
I've been looking forward to this all day. I think we said it in the text. Like, I'm looking forward to concerts. I'm looking forward to potting.
You actually said something very bold. You said you're more excited for this episode than to go see live music. And I don't know if I believe you.
Well, equivalent.
Ah, okay.
Hey, I'll take that. That's a compliment to us, Tone, right?
Oh, totally. You'd rather hang out with us virtually than go see live music? I mean, good on you, bro. No, I'm excited to do this. We have a fun episode lined up for you guys. We got a couple things we'll probably just kind of bandy about, and then got a little game, and then we got a main segment for you. And the main segment does revolve around live music because we love it, and it's coming back. And all of the show announcements we've seen this week into next week now have been pretty exciting stuff. So yeah, let's start there, guys. Anything that's caught your eye, that's piqued your interest as far as shows that you might get your hands on some tickets?
Yeah, a lot. Like, to the extent that it's almost overload. And, we're kind of limited with, travel, I guess, still. It depends on your comfort level. But even locally, in the main area, I did pick up tickets to Gojira and Knocked Loose at the State Theater. I think I saw it on Twitter. I got the pre-sale code, so I got a couple tickets there. 311 is coming to Thompson's Point in, I don't even know when. This summer at some point.
August. Yeah, late August.
I'd like to go to that. Outside on the water, Maine summer day. I don't even know who's opening, but 311's enough for me. Those are the two that I could see myself at for sure.
That's rad. So you bought the Gojira tickets already?
Yep.
With the pre-sale? Nice. That's rad. Yep. I've been kind of just throwing stuff in my calendar, as I always show you guys screenshots of my stacked calendar, like, wishful thinking kind of thing. Like, I want to go to this.
Just going to start tweeting those out every time he sends me those, so you guys can all see them and join in with that.
And it's selective, so the fact that it stacks up is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't bought tickets to anything. But the first concert that is going to be coming to San Diego that I can go to, at least locally, is this thing called Bay Festival, Sublime and Dirty Heads, which that'll probably be my first concert, literally because it's the first one that is in that list. And then after that, it's just a bunch of stuff that I'd like to see, and maybe I'll see, maybe I won't. But I might be back for that 311 show, Twan, so I'd love to join you, or both you guys.
All right.
Yeah, no, 311 is obviously high on my list as well, especially here in Maine, in southern Maine. It's an easy drive for both Twan and I. That dashboard show at the state sounds exciting. Right. That's late September, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Late September. So that's something that would be up our alley. Obviously, we've talked to people that have worked with Chris in the past on our podcast. Go back and check our Chad Neptune episode. But yeah, it's those two are big ones for me. I know I talked to our buddy Nate, different Nate in North Carolina. He's coming home for those Goose shows at the State Theater. And he just texted me actually about half an hour ago. I was like, I want you to come to one of them with me. I'm like, okay. I mean, if I can do it, I'll definitely go. It's at my favorite venue and about, half an hour away from where I live. Might as well go check out live music. So,
you know the band or no?
I never listened to them. Know of them.
Yeah.
We'll need to start, obviously. And I've got time. I think it's October. Those shows are late October. The other thing is our friends from Troll announced a show a couple days ago now that you're hearing this. They are opening for Murcielago at Aura in early July. Now that'll probably be the first one back for me unless something comes up before that. I got to see those guys live. They were cool. I've known Sean for a long time, and they were a lot of fun to talk to. Seeing them perform in their practice space a couple weeks back was a blast. So I definitely want to check them rip it up at Aura, which is a fun place to see a concert, and the acoustics there are awesome. So those are the ones that kind of excite me right now.
I saw that. Actually, you sent it to us, Tony, and there was another band on that bill, Ultra Major, who I listened to today, and they were pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that'll be a fun show, and I like Aura, unless it's like packed to the gills.
Right.
If it's not, then it's a fantastic venue. Like we went to the Jimmy Eat World show,
dude.
and it was packed. And then we had to kind of navigate to a better spot in the building. And I think once we did that, it was a whole different ballgame.
Totally, and the sound there is just so good. And I mean, Jimmy World kicked ass on top of the fact that the sound there is great, and it was a bunch of people that were into it. Like I'm excited for that. Like the energy of that type of thing. My job right now is mostly back to normal. A lot of things are very similar to the way they were 2 springs ago, and obviously with some differences here and there, but we've had a decent amount of people. The state's opening up here in Maine. We've had a decent amount of people at events that I'm at, and it's the national anthem was supposed to go off last night at our one of our home games, and the tech didn't work, and the high school kids just started singing it, and when it ended, the whole place went nuts. Like, I'm looking for that energy every day. Like, I'm excited for that energy, and that's just for a bunch of high school kids singing the national anthem for a high school lacrosse game, which is really cool. But I want that. Tenfold at a concert, and I think we're gonna get that stuff.
I think we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
You also sent that video of you in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, with like a jazz band.
Oh, dude, right?
Yeah.
And like just the energy there, like, and everyone lining up to watch, and it's just proof that like music is so universal. Like, people are just like something to unplug, something to lift your spirits, and music is definitely that thing. I think we talked about it in the group text. It's like the cure, COVID-19. It's been rough.
Really is, yeah.
So.
I'm excited. I'll tweet those out. Those were that was a blast. My wife and I just happened upon that after getting lunch down in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, a couple days back, and there was like, I don't even know, 10 people playing brass instruments. There's like a tuba and a trombone and a bunch of saxophones and trumpets, and then just these people kind of not nobody was too close to each other. They were all kind of in the square in downtown Portsmouth and just loving life, and like the energy from the band was awesome, and the energy from the crowd was awesome. Everybody was just happy. Like, you couldn't not smile. So yeah, that type of stuff we're gonna get that back, and it's gonna be awesome.
I actually want to mention some more shows that I'm trying to check out, because we talked about earlier, like
stalling again, huh?
Well, we'll see anything. You remember we said, like, I used to be, and I feel like I'm still kind of selective, but like the Bay Festival Sublime Dirty Heads, like I'm only going to that because it's the first show that's like in order. And after that, it's like Fastball. Remember Fastball from the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Way.
They're playing like, yep. They're playing some place in Long Beach. I'm like, I'll fucking go to that. Hell yeah. And then Joe Bonamassa, who's like a legendary blues guitarist. And I keep missing him. So I'm like, no more, show regret. I'm just going to fucking see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That net is wide. It's real wide.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like we'll actually see, and to use Nate's term, in real time here coming up to see how wide that
drink.
To see how wide that net is. Like, am I gonna go see? I don't know. I can't even think of a fringe artist. I don't even know. We'll see.
Goose, bro. Goose would be fringe for you. Yeah.
The goose is loose. Pigeons playing ping pong. How about that?
Yeah, similar. Yeah. Yeah, so that's exciting stuff. We're all really, really amped and excited for that. And if I almost pulled the trigger on those 311 tickets yesterday, I probably will before the week is out. Same with that Murcielago ticket, so I can check our Trawl boys at that show.
Yeah, and they just keep
nice.
Announcements just keep coming. I think there's another Thompson's Point in Portland show being announced this week. So we're super stoked for that. We're going to get back into live music talk later in the episode. Actually, Tony, you got something?
Like a game, yeah.
You got something planned? What do we got? I'm excited for this.
Yeah, so similar to the game that Twan came up with the game a couple weeks ago. We did a real headline, or like Hard Times, the Onion type headline, because we love the Hard Times and the stuff the funny headlines they come up with that half the time seem like they could be legit. So not the same, but similar. I was just messing around on Cameo the other day, and I mean, there's a lot of musicians, a lot of people on Cameo, and I was like, some of these people we talk about. You've definitely heard us mention a lot of these people, over the course of the podcast life of a year plus. And they've got some prices down here. We're going to do a little over under. I'm going to throw out an artist, and then I'm going to set an over under, which I haven't said any of them, guys. I'm just going to set them in real time in my head. Oh, twice. Drink.
Ooh, drink.
And and you guys are going to guess, and then we'll talk about what the actual number is. So you guys excited? You ready?
I was just going to say, for anyone that doesn't know what Cameo is, it's a online service that you can hire famous people to basically make a video for you based on input that you type a few sentences and they'll say it. So you can wish someone a happy birthday. You could smack talk someone's fantasy football team. And the net of people on there is, I mean, probably everyone from like Pauly Shore to Matthew Berry, the fantasy football guy. You know what I mean?
There's
it's everyone.
So many people. Yeah. And the numbers that I have that we're going to use to base on the over-under is the lowest ask. So that means that there are higher numbers than these for these people for other things. So probably your lowest, like, hey, happy birthday, Joe, is this number. And then after that, it gets a little more wild and crazy.
So, Nate, I want to see both hands. You can't look at your keyboard. You can't look.
Yeah, no, don't look it up.
Yeah, hands free. I got to say one thing, though, before you start, because we always have this running joke. It's like 16-year-old me wouldn't believe this. And this is one of those things where, like, Cameo, totally. You can pay, like, a celebrity to, like, say something for you. Like, yeah, right. No, 2021, baby.
Yeah, right. All right, let's start. Let's start here. Let's go with, we talked about J5 a couple weeks ago. Let's start with Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5. I will set the over-under at $50.
Hey, he's over 50.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to put it in my head. I'm gonna go 250.
Oh wow, 250 is all right. He is over. It is not 250. It's $65 for Charlie Tuna.
Wow, that's
to wish your grandma happy birthday.
We might do that.
Yeah, like
and ask him to come on the podcast.
That's a steal.
I mean, this is a good way to do that. Hey, guy, can we have you come on and like wish my my grandmother happy birthday and also maybe talk to us for 20 minutes? Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I guess I was willing to pay $250. I guess I'm no wonder I get ripped off by Ticketmaster. I'm always willing to pay.
Well, $250 is a lot of money, and Charlie, if you're listening, and you may be, who knows? Yeah, you could hike those prices. Nate is down.
Don't gouge me.
All right, let's jump to another one here. Scott Stapp of Creed fame. Let's set the over under at $300.
I had a number in my head and it was under that. I was in my head thinking like 2.
Nate.
Oh, you're going the Price is Right route with $2?
No, I'm saying under.
No, $200. Yeah.
I'm gonna go under 2.
It is under, but it is only $1 under. $2.99 for Scott Stapp.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, Creed's having a moment right now. If you check social media, there's a Creed meme like every other post. So maybe he's just trying to capitalize on that. Good for him.
Maybe it's an ego thing because Charlie Tuna could charge more, and Scott Stapp should be charging, no offense, way less.
I mean, he did sing the Marlins theme song for.
That's true.
For the Marlins baseball team.
It's marvelous. It's fantastic.
The thing is with that is like he's obviously controlling the supply by that. You know, it's the front row MGK ticket. All he needs is a couple suckers.
Right.
Yeah.
And Nate's one of them. He pre-ordered the Stab Cameo.
Are you guys familiar with the band Nelson, 80s band?
Oh yeah.
They're twins, right? It's like Gunnar and
I've seen them live.
You have seen them. Wow. Okay.
Oh,
all right.
wow.
All right.
On a cruise ship, which is so fitting. This was like a few years ago. Yep.
No shit.
And that's why we do games like this, because we get stories like that. Twan, tell the story of seeing Nelson before we throw this out there.
Please,
I want to know if it's more expensive to do a
so their dad is what? Who? Ricky Nelson?
I think that sounds right.
They did a tribute to Ricky Nelson, and it was the twins or the brothers on a cruise ship. And I didn't, we didn't know that. That's not why we went on the cruise, but it's
okay,
like
good.
It's like, oh, they're on this boat. I'll go see them. So that's the story. You didn't think you'd hear that tonight, did you?
No. I gotta ask. Yeah. So you didn't get the cruise tickets to see the band Nelson. The band Nelson just happened to be on your cruise.
Allegedly.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Okay. So the band Nelson together. You can get them separately. I can't remember what they were. I didn't write them down. But together, to do a cameo for you together, over under $350.
I'm gonna go under.
In my head, I was thinking $500, just like to slap it in your face as two of them.
$500.
Is
right
it
on
really?
the fucking
Whoa.
nose. Yes, sir.
No shit.
Wow.
I hope your
for-
cruise was cheaper.
Seriously.
No.
Well, I mean, you had more than just the cruise, and you also got Nelson, so maybe that's why.
It was 500 on the dot on the money.
$500. Yep.
See, this is that weird telepathic Twan tone. Like you just read his mind or something.
You did, yeah.
Something happened there.
All right, let's stay in that vein, that time frame. Remember Right Said Fred? I'm too sexy. Yeah. Right Said Fred. Over under $78.
It's a very specific number.
I just felt like throwing that out there.
He's over. I think there's enough. I mean, this is like a perfect like bachelorette party gag video.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So over.
I'm gonna go under, but not by much.
Ooh, Nate. Here's the nerd voice. $67 for Right Said Fred.
Oh, there you go.
Oh shit.
Now, like 10 years ago or even 15 years ago, Twan, I think you're right, especially bachelorette party or whatever, any party really like that. To get Right Said Fred to do I'm Too Sexy For You would be probably like a couple $100 back in like 1997. But today,
he's probably what, 60? He's probably in his 50s, 60s.
Yeah, he's too sexy for a shirt though. All right, let's go in our vein here a little bit. Ian Grushka, Newfound Glory, over under $40.
I'm gonna go over on this one.
Over. Yeah, I bet he's I don't know $90. No, not that much. I don't know. Over 40.
$29.
No way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I think we gotta do that.
Yeah.
And their drummer,
for sure.
Cyrus Baluki, he's also on there. Over under what I say, $40? Over under $40.
Under.
He's lesser known than Ian.
He is twice Ian at $48.
What?
What?
Almost twice. What? $19 more? Yeah. So, yeah. Yep. He is. He's $48, which I found that funny. That's why I wrote those down. I was like, why aren't they the same? Or like put them together and be $100. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So there's no rhyme or reason to this. It's literally ego. Like, I feel like I'm worth
not
more.
all ego, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think I know Ian better than I would Cyrus.
Right. Yeah. I think he is more. He's more visible. You know.
Yep. Yeah. All right. I got. Let's do a couple more. Everybody knows the thong song, right? Cisco.
Oh yeah.
From Drew Hill and then on his own with the thong song.
Yep. Silver hair.
Yeah. Over under $85.
I'm gonna go under.
Okay.
Over
$100 for Cisco.
Hey, that's valuable.
That's actually not bad, right?
Not bad.
I mean, I'm not doing it, but that's
No, but somebody who loved the thong song in 2002, whenever it came out, and we're the group of people that he's selling to, right? Our age group, because the thong song was
100%.
huge when we were juniors in high school or whatever. Yeah, so that I could see that 100. He's put himself in a spot where he might make some money on that.
Yeah, actually, this is a great point because you go the Scott Stapp route, $300 or whatever. What was he? 300?
Yeah, $299.
I mean, how many? He can't be getting too many of those. But Cisco at 100, he's moving units. He must be.
Yeah.
Nelson Brothers, I think they're sitting on their ass at that $500.
That's a lot of money. $500. That's a lot of money. All right, let's do one more, and then I got a funny one for you that you guys will never get. All right, let's go. Sonny Sandoval from POD. Over under $50.
I'm gonna go under.
I'm gonna go over.
He is $29.
Wow,
Nice.
Yeah.
that's value.
I would love for him to wish me a happy birthday, the youth of the nation, this summer from one of you guys. That'd be cool. I'm throwing that out there. I'm not the youth anymore, but
Just saying.
yeah.
I'm gonna save that $29 and just track him down here in San Diego.
Oh, even better. Smart man, Nate. Smart man. Find him and just say, "Hey, bro, can you say happy birthday? I'll give you like $15."
Exactly. That's where it all started, right? That's like the old school way of doing this.
Exactly.
You see a celebrity and say happy birthday on a voicemail kind of thing.
Well, you'll give him the same 29, but he'll actually get all the 29 instead of Cameo taking 15% or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good call.
Smart.
Yes.
Good on Cameo. Whoever came up with this idea. This is genius.
No kidding.
It is pretty good. Yeah. OnlyFans for everyone else.
Yep.
But it's only for clarity here. I was going to ask you earlier, like, this is just for, is there a time limit, or is it just, how does this work? It's a sentence?
I've never done it. Twan, I think you did it once, right? You did it for our friends when they had a baby.
I did it. Boston Celtic at the time, Enos Cantor. Yeah, I can't remember. There's a text box that you just put in. I can't remember. If there was a limit, I didn't reach it.
I know in looking at the website, they do like will respond within 24 hours. So it's all people that are active that had these numbers up. Because I looked for some people that were inactive to see if they had it, and they had at one point. Like I think Slug from Atmosphere had it up, but he did it for just like one day, and they raised money for something.
Oh,
so
nice.
It wasn't. Yeah, which that's another great thing about this is you can use it as a charitable endeavor if you want to. Say, hey, I'm going to open up my Cameo from Friday to Monday. Hit us up. We'll make 3/4 of the proceeds are going here, and blah blah blah. That's a great idea too. So if you've got a platform and you can pull that off, so yeah. It's pretty cool.
It is cool, but the more I think about it, like since we're talking about, or at least earlier with Sonny from POD, like skirting the system, you could literally just skirt the system all day and just like advertise on your Facebook and Instagram, like, hey, I'll do these flips. Here's my Venmo. Here's my PayPal. Here's my Cash App.
Yep.
Right.
And get all the proceeds.
The future.
So, yeah, they set the standard.
I'm not going to give you guys an over-under for this one. I'm just going to tell you this guy. You're going to tell me what you would think it would be worth, and then I'll tell you what he thinks he's worth.
Okay.
Mike Jones. Remember Mike Jones, the rapper?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Jones, what would you think his Cameo would go for on the low end?
I bet he thinks he can get like $600 or something.
Okay.
Wow. I was going to go $100.
How about $9.99?
What?
He's asking for $1,000. He had one
Damn.
okay. I don't even know if it was okay. One rap song that was kind of popular, right?
Is that
Mike
Ballin'?
Jones or whatever. Yeah. He just said his name over and over again or
Wait,
something.
who did the We Fly High, No Lie?
That's Jim Jones, I think,
Jones.
right?
Okay.
Different guy. Yeah. So you don't even have the right guy, and he's asking for $1,000.
I'm thinking of the wrong guy.
Now look up Jim. You got to look up Jim Jones now.
I wonder if Jim Jones has it. I'll look him up. But yeah, at the same time, like $1,000, bro.
See, that's the ego thing. It's like
You
probably
just
gets
need a
no,
couple suckers. You're right, Nate. It's ego.
there's probably no hits though. No one's paying $1,000. Fuck that.
He's got it up there. It means somebody probably did it, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just there as a secondary income if someone just happens to press the button. It's almost like having an eBay auction. It's like idling. Like, if someone buys it, cool. I'm not counting on that money.
Well, yeah, that's probably the case for an ask like $1,000 for Mike Jones.
Yeah.
Like he's not planning on getting a lot of hits for that, but
Yeah.
dude, like knock it down to 500 and see if you can get some hits that way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. That's why I like
$1,000
Twan's
is
analogy.
steep.
It's like move units instead of like have a buy it now at like $10,000. Like, I'm not going to buy that.
No
right,
kidding.
Right.
Fuck that.
When you got guys on this list like Trick Daddy, who you guys remember Trick Daddy?
Oh, yeah.
Take it to the house.
And I only have to put it out there because I want to put like 3 Trick Daddy songs on the playlist. But Trick Daddy,
Nice.
$195. Like he might
There
get
you
a
go.
hit every now and then.
Yeah, maybe.
So, yeah. Or Soldier Boy.
Oh, he's
You
up
know?
there. He's well
Yeah,
known.
he's less than Mike Jones. He's
Oh, yeah.
asking for
Yep.
for a quarter of it at $250. So yeah, all right. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I liked looking those up and being like, really, dude? Or yeah, that makes sense. Or that's cheap. Maybe we should contact those guys. So
Now I'm just like, all like the bands that we mentioned, now I'm just thinking like, what is Camp Low?
not on there.
You don't know. You're not going to look it up.
No, he's not on there.
Oh, damn.
All right, gentlemen. You guys ready to talk some live shows?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And we're not talking local shows. We're not talking big tours. We're talking what? Festivals.
Festivals, baby.
This is the
Festivals.
festival. Festivus for the rest of us. This is the festival episode. The Festus. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll
good
think,
enough.
We'll think of a name.
Festus Azili episode for the you NBA heads out there.
Yeah. You can imagine my excitement because I love music festivals. And we talked about it in a previous episode that it's a bang for your buck. Not going to lie. And I think we'll get into that.
Definitely, Nate. Why do you love festivals? Let's hear it. Let's hash it out.
All right. So my deal on festivals is, like I just said, it's very cost efficient for what you get. You get multiple bands. for a kind of a set price, right? So you pay in once and you get kind of like this wide net of artists. Drink if you, I think we said wide net 4 times now.
Yeah, right.
Drink.
So you get the headliners, and then you get a bunch of sub headliners, which you also might know. So you kind of paid your ticket price with like maybe 2 of those headliners already, maybe even 1, depending on who it is. And then you get a bunch of bands, I guess we call it support in terms of how like concert lineups is. It's like headliner, opener, support, and then so forth. They kind of go down that line. And a lot of these support acts, you either know, you maybe even know a few songs that we're talking about with Cameo, or you just don't know them at all. So you're actually discovering bands, which is like the epitome of nerdery. Like you're checking out bands you've never seen, but they're on the bill and you already paid for the ticket and you're already there. So I'll check it out. And you discover bands that way. It's like a real life, Spotify recommendation in real time. Boom.
Yeah, you didn't want to say it that time, but you did anyway.
It came out. It was like coming out. I caught myself. So yeah, that's the main reason. Reason number 2, that was a big reason. Reason number 2 is the fact that it's like, especially a multi-day festival, it's like a mini vacation. You get to embrace music for multiple days, and it's based around the music solely. That's like, the center part of the experience is the music, and everything else, the food, the vendors, the merch, the experience, the friends, the people that you meet. It's all secondary to that. So it's kind of like a nonstop, fun, positive energy experience. And I'm not even like a huge, you know what I mean? I've always like been kind of low key on the festivals in terms of what I did partying wise. I was just drinking, maybe smoking weed, but I never did anything insane. And some people like go all out and do hard drugs, and that's a different scene. But I'm there for the music, and I'm there for the merch, and I'm taking photos, and I'm soaking it all in, and used to write little journal entries on it and stuff. So yeah, music festivals are the shit, and I wish I went to more, even though I've gone to quite a few. But yeah, that's the long answer.
Well, that's what we wanted here. This is a long form conversation about
that's
festivals.
True.
So
and you're the festival guy.
I was gonna say he's probably been to the most of them of the 3 of us, right? I mean, I've been to 1 or 2, and nothing huge. Twan, you've been to a handful.
Yeah, I was trying to. I had to go through my log. I've been to probably a half dozen.
Okay.
And if you count each individual Warped Tour, maybe a dozen. I was going to that for a while. Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed every one that I've been to. Like Warped Tour was always money back in the day, and some years I went to multiple stops. I've actually went up to Canada twice for Warped Tours. That was awesome. I've traveled for festivals, multi-day festivals. Rock the Bells, you guys remember that? Rock the Bells back in 2007. That was a multi-day one. I only went to one of them.
Yep.
It's interesting. Then you have like Slipknot's Not Fest, which is not a fest. It's a show. Like there's no different than a show. It's interesting how some people brand things as fests and whatnot. But bang for the buck, no doubt. Continuous music, like all day. Like you can't beat it. Like we love going to shows. Well, this is a show all day. Negatives, you're never going to see everyone on the bill. So don't be dazzled by the bill. I mean, obviously be dazzled by it if there's some headliners that you want to see. You can probably see all the headliners, but at least like Warped Tour, you're jumping from stage to stage. If it's multi stages, you're probably going to be thirsty, hungry, struggle to find a bathroom, but you make a trip out of it. And I think that's what you like, Nate, is like you base a whole trip around it. And sometimes there's lodging on site, which I've never done that, but I assume that's a lot of fun. It's one of those things that the idea can fall short of the experience, I'm sure, but then there's others where the idea of it doesn't live up to actually being there. So it's all fest by fest case basis for me.
Yeah, the one in Maine that I went to with Nate and a few other friends, 11 years ago now. Wow. Yeah, Nativa, right? Remember Nativa?
Yep.
Flaming Lips, Soundtribe Sector 9. There's a bunch of other bands too that played throughout the day, and it was a hot July. It was the 4th of July weekend. Hot weekend, absolute blast. And I didn't know a lot of the early bands, and I knew of Soundtribe, I knew of the Flaming Lips, but I'd never seen either of them live. And it was magical, right? We ran into a bunch of different friends. We were in the venue watching shows for like 4 hours during the really hot part of the day, walking around, looking at vendors, listening to music, having a blast. And then we took a break. I think, Nate, you and I went across the street because it was a supermarket across the street because we ran out of beer. So we just bought beer and walked back with it. It was like, this is amazing. Like, this is just the best of all worlds, because we were staying there for the night. And we didn't have to worry about anything. And then it was getting to be the later part of the night, and your headliners start to come on. And you're like, this is what we've been waiting for all day. Like, we got to see the fun ones, but you bang out 15 bands in a day. Like, it's just wild. And you make connections with bands you never even thought you would like. And then you're all of a sudden you're a fan because you saw them live and you like the music, and it fits with the time, it fits with friends, all that stuff. So I'm here for all of that. And I think the cost prohibitive piece is obviously it's always like, okay, do we really want to drop that much money? But at the same time, you're getting the bang for your buck for a lot of these. It's funny you mentioned the Not Fest and just like people branding things as festivals when they're not really. They're just like a day on tour.
Right. Exactly.
It's smart of whoever's branding it, but that's happened kind of probably too much at this point. But yeah, I think if you're going for a couple of days, checking out a bunch of bands, hanging out with your friends, obviously in the summertime is usually great. It's just it makes sense to me, and I wish I'd gone to more when I was younger. I'm going to try to get to more of them even now, the best I can. But yeah, it's a cool idea. So with that being said, we picked 5 of them.
One thought, guys, to kind of bring this full circle for us is I think all 3 of us were at Kabang Fest.
We were.
Yeah. Deftones, Wale, and we actually stayed on the same floor as Wale and in his group, because you could smell a little something down the hall.
Yep, and they were, you could tell they were partying. They were from the festival. They weren't from Bangor, Maine. They just didn't fit the vibe of Bangor, downtown Bangor, with the smell from down the hallway and all that stuff. Yeah, for sure.
That was a great day. Yeah, Deftones headlined.
That was a blast.
I can't even remember who else played, to be honest with you. I was just so stoked to see Deftones.
Well, and that was for Diamond Eyes, right?
Diamond Eyes.
That was about 10 years ago, too.
That was actually one of the best times I've seen Deftones, and it was like this light rain drizzle.
Yeah.
And like the fact that we were all together, and it's like a bachelor party, and it was like...
Yeah, it was Settler's bachelor party.
Our producer,
our producer's bachelor's party, and it was like... They were just on point that night. It was one of the best times I've ever seen that band. House band. Good point. I'm happy you brought that up. And there's one thing I want to bring up too before we jump in is just some insight on festival going. Because Twan, you kind of mentioned the pros and cons. I have to mention that if you have the chance to see a festival for its first year, I would strongly recommend it. Even though this might sound like this might not add up. It's so disorganized. It's like a restaurant that just opened. They don't really have their flow yet, that it's so loose that you can kind of just get away with anything. I'm talking like
like walking across the street to get beer.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that, where they haven't really set those, parameters yet. Like, oh shit, we should probably not allow outside people to bring in alcohol because then we'll lose commission or we'll lose concessions, stuff like that. I've snuck backstage at festivals multiple times. And it's just loose. Like, it's just the infrastructure's just not tight that you can kind of do anything. And that's a pro, because you can get away with more, and you can make it more cost efficient, because paying for a $15 beer is a pain in the ass when you can bring a 30-pack into a festival. It's more of a bargain than it already was. And the whole sneak backstage thing, that's just like, wild antics when I was younger or whatever. It's, that's not really a perk. It's just me being nuts. But, I wouldn't do that now. But I would just strongly recommend.
Yes,
I would think about it. Well, now I'd use our credentials with Podcast Life.
Oh, right.
But I didn't want to throw that out there, because I've gone to, the first festivals for many, and everyone's like, "Oh man, this is a shit show," and I'm always like, "Look at the silver lining." It's just not strict. You get into these festivals in like their 15th year, and it's like so corporate and so strict, and like everything's overpriced. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that really quick.
That's a good point. You're hitting the nail on the head there. You're right. And I hadn't thought of it that way until you told me about this with that Nativa one, because it was the first and only year they ever did it. But you're like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a shit show. They're going to have some stuff that just doesn't work the way it's supposed to. But yeah, you can kind of do what you want, as long as you're not being a dink. You got to do what you want.
Yep. Have you seen those YouTube videos of people sneaking into festivals? They just literally put on a
staff shirt.
A staff shirt or a vest with the fluorescent and the reflectors and stuff like that. And there was another one I saw where this guy, like a week before a festival, he went to the venue, dug a hole, put booze,
wow,
and then dug it up in the fest while he was in there, and he could
wow,
drink for free though. Well, not for free, but you know what I mean.
That's amazing.
It's a charity right there.
Wait, and that guy was Nate.
That was Nate.
Yeah. I hid posters to get signed. Yeah.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot of hype. We've been kind of teasing what we're getting into, and I think we're ready to get into it. So we're gonna pick about a half dozen festivals that have been announced for 2021, and kind of give our reaction, grade them, love them, hate them, all that.
Yep.
So where are we starting?
Well, let's start with not small. None of them are small because they're all got huge names on them, but a smaller one. Not sure one of the bigger ones that you guys will all know by the brand name down the road here. Let's start with Louder Than Life.
So yeah, Louder Than Life, 4-day festival, which is, I feel like, kind of rare. It's in Louisville, Kentucky in late September. 4-day fest. So we're obviously not going to read every band here, but some of the big ones: Korn, Stain, Cypress Hill, and this is all across the 4 days. Metallica, Jane's Addiction, Rise Against, Killswitch, Nine Inch Nails, Metallica, Judas Priest, Mudvayne, Machine Gun Kelly, Snoop Dogg. So you got like a hip hop fest meets Ozfest meets Lolla meets, it's kind of all over the map. Like it's
all over the map.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Snoop is funny. He's in
Snoop,
there. Nine Inch Nails, Snoop, and Machine Gun Kelly is quite the day. That's the Saturday day. That jumps out at me. Obviously, I'd love to see Nails again. I've seen Nails a bunch. Never seen Snoop. Never seen MGK. So those would be big ones for me on that day. I'd never seen Metallica. Obviously, Metallica would be massive to see. You're right. It is kind of a mishmash. Like Pennywise is on this bill.
Yep.
Fozzy, isn't that Chris Jericho, the Wrestlers?
Yes, it is.
Band.
Yep.
Yeah, he's on this bill. They're on this bill. So yeah, they're kind of all over the map here. It's exciting. Stain got back together. I think they're an interesting case. Nate, you got thoughts on Stained, right?
Yeah, Stained, and actually a few other of these bands, but Stained in particular, I was thinking, had they not got on hiatus, I don't think they would be a co-headliner for Thursday's slot or any of the slots really. Yeah. I feel like they would be, third line midday kind of show, but the fact that they're co-headlining, like I guess we're kind of going by this poster, but going on before Korn, that just wouldn't be the case had they not been on hiatus this whole time. But that's just, me kind of geeking out thinking about that.
You know what, Nate? Same with Mudvayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they're right at the top with Judas Priest on Sunday.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Metallica.
Right. Metallica headlining 2 days, Friday and Sunday.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize.
But you said their name twice, and I was like, oh wow, they're headlining 2 days. Good call. Which is kind of cool. And at the same time, like if you're a Metallica fan and you get to see them twice, I'm sure they'll change the set list up and it'll be 2 different shows. I hope. I mean, who knows with Metallica? But yeah, it could. They've got so much to draw from catalog wise. Like you could see 2 completely different shows from them. So it's worth getting tickets if you're a Metallica fan.
You know what? Shout out to Pure Noise Records because they have Knocked Loose on day 1, and then I'm pretty sure Unity TX on Saturday. They're at the very bottom. They're a Pure Noise band, so it's cool to see a label like that. And there's other bands from that scene: Turnstile, Code Orange. They're both Roadrunner bands. They're huge, but
similar scene though. Yep.
Yeah, Ghostmane is kind of like that trap.
Like horror rap.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is all over the place. Distillers, I think we've mentioned them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope. So let's grade it. Like, I'd go see this. I would want to go see this, especially if it were closer. I'd give this probably a solid B+ as far as, what they've got and what they've got to offer and how long it is and all that stuff.
That's pretty solid. I think I was going to go somewhere close to that, like a B. It's pretty solid, but any festival, like you're getting your money's worth, like we said earlier, with the headliners, and everything else is kind of like a bonus. So I'd say a B+ is pretty solid for this. Yeah,
I'm right in there. B+, A-. Another way to look at this that I thought in my head is like tiers. Are you flying out for it? Would you cross state lines?
Good call.
Or would you attend if it was in your state? So I probably wouldn't fly out, but if it was in the next state over, yes. in current state, in my current state of Maine, 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah. And we got to mention the whole Machine Gun Kelly thing, right? On last week's episode, like tickets for his were going for, or like for his resale verified tickets were going for like what, over $300. I think this festival face value for all 4 days is around that price.
$269 as the starting point for all 4 days. That's pretty damn good.
That's You'd pay more than that for one Metallica show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep. And you get 2 Metallica shows, and then all the other stuff we mentioned. So, yeah, this is a good B plus, and I would drive to the state over, maybe even any drive, couple hour drive I'd go to, so Massachusetts, whatever, Vermont. I'd do that, and I definitely would see it if it was in my state.
Well, now that you mentioned that, this is where I didn't mention earlier. Like this becomes a road trip for boozery because you go there to check out all the
bourbon, yeah,
all the whiskey, yeah.
Good call. I love me a good bourbon, man.
Yep.
My wife went down there a few years ago for the Derby. She went to Kentucky Derby and brought home some nice stuff.
Oh, nice. Boozery, a little plug there.
Yep. All right, what's the next one?
All right, let's flip that on its head and hit Pitchfork Music Festival, Chicago.
Yeah, good call.
And that's in September, Union Park. So I assume it's outside. Tone, you run this one down.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this one is it's all female headliners. Friday is Phoebe Bridgers, Saturday is St. Vincent, and Sunday is Erykah Badu. So that's, I mean, they're trying to do something different. That doesn't happen, right? This is pretty new, and good on them for doing that. Now, I think we probably all have kind of a love-hate with Pitchfork, depending on the situation, but this is cool. I like this. I would love to see Phoebe Bridgers. I've never seen St. Vincent. I'd be interested in that. And Erykah Badu is a legendary R&B soul. I would love to see her. So, and not to mention some of the other acts on here. My only, this is where the love-hate with Pitchfork comes in. The kind of lower tier bands, I'm just not that into. And maybe it's because I haven't heard of them, or haven't heard much from them, depending on who it is. But yeah, it'd be headliners for me that would be the reason I would go see this.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with you on that one. A lot of these support bands, I'd have no idea who they are, but it definitely goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, you go for the headliners and you get all this extra stuff that maybe you become a fan of, like DJ Nate. I'll check him out. Same name.
Saw that, DJ Nate.
DJ Nate. Yeah, but like, do you want to go check out Horse Girl?
Maybe. I mean, you just never know. Don't judge a book by its cover, kind of thing.
No, but that's a handicap.
That is a handicap.
I do like the idea of bringing in the all female headliners and making that a thing. Now, I would have added more female acts to like help headline. Like, where's
totally.
Julian Baker? Like, that
Should
would be an
perfect.
awesome one.
Yep.
Her and Phoebe Bridgers together, and then maybe even putting as Lucy Dacus, I think, is also with them for Boy Genius. Like, why not? Why not have more of that?
Maggie Rogers, would she be in that?
Maggie Rogers would be awesome. Yeah, there's some good ones here that we're missing out on because I'm not sure if we couldn't get them. Who knows what the deal is with that? But yeah, that would have been more up my alley.
No, you're right. There should be like some legacy acts, like the last festival we were just talking about. Like maybe some Fiona Apple on here, Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be rad.
Well, and she just put that album out last year that everybody loved too, right? Fetch the Bolt Cutters or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She would have fit in. Maybe that's the artist. Maybe they did approach him and they said no. So
True.
Who knows? But if they could have, yeah, that makes this go from headliners are for me an A, but the rest of it is like a C, to like everything is an A minus.
Yep.
Yeah. And just looking at it, I don't know a lot of the acts. Like Fiery Furnaces, they were big in the college radio scene like a decade plus ago. So they're definitely brand name. The one that I know the most for the non-headliners is Oso Oso. They're on Triple Crown from New York. They're kind of in that early save. They remind me of early saves the day. Oh, no, or maybe mid saves the day in their career, and they're really good. But I don't know much. Cat Power, I've heard of and heard some of their stuff. Again, another college radio, big with the college radio indie scene. For me, if this was in state, I'd go. I probably wouldn't cross state lines. I'd say B minus, C plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think I would drive, but if it was in state, I would be there for sure. Grading wise, Cat Power's great. Actually, I think Cat Power should be higher in the bill. Maybe even like a co-headliner. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna agree with you. C plus, B minus, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my headliners being an A. I love the idea. I love what they did with it. I wish they had leaned into it even more, I think. And if they had, I would have driven, a couple states over to see it. Definitely seeing it in my state for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just mentioned all the legacy acts with like Alanis Morissette and Fiona Apple. I just thought of another one. Like if Florence and the Machine was on here, I would actually cross state lines for that, just to see her or them.
Fiona Apple, yeah, absolutely. All that stuff would be great to cross state lines for.
And she'd fit the whole Pitchfork vibe,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know how they reviewed that album, but I'm sure they were high on it. Would be my guess.
Which one?
The Fiona Apple album.
I think they were. Yeah, I think they're pretty high on it. Cool. All right. Next one. Nate, you pick.
All right. I'm going to go, because I've gone so many times, Bonnaroo 2021, celebrating 20 years of Magic on the Farm. I went 4 years in a row. It was one of the best times of my life. And the lineup's always all over the place. And this is one of those festivals where you do camp. So you get to see music from, I think it starts at 10 a.m. and goes till 2 or 3 in the morning. Pretty decent for the most part. I think we talked about this off air a few weeks ago, where it's like a lot of these bands I'm surprised are headliners, like Tame Impala, great band. Headliner for Bonnaroo. I guess they've just gotten bigger. That's what it comes down to. Foo Fighters are on here, which is great. Good to see them on here. Deftones, awesome. Megan Thee Stallion, Lizzo, these are obviously headliners. Tyler, the Creator, Lana Del Rey. It's decent, but I think I'm a little biased because I've saw so many legendary lineups at Bonnaroo that I would have to. I was originally going to go to this because I wanted to keep the legacy going, but I'm not going to go. And in terms of grading wise, just comparing it to like what I had seen at Bonnaroo 2007 through 2010, I'd have to give this like a C.
Wow. Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you, because I remember some of those bills that you telling me about who you saw and what was going on there, and it was an earlier iteration of Bonnaroo, and now it's probably a little more corporate than it was 13, 14 years ago. So I mean, a lot of these bands that I would like to see, I've seen.
Yeah.
Seen the Foo Fighters, seen Deftones, seen Incubus. But Jason Isbell, I want to see. I haven't seen him. Haven't seen Meg Thee Stallion. Haven't seen Run the Jewels yet. So yeah, there's some good ones on here. I'm kind of with you as far as, I'd probably give it a little higher grade than that. It's got a lot of good names on it, and a lot of similar ones to some of the other stuff we've talked about too. But like even Nelly is low key. I like to see Nelly. Like what a random lineup: Meg Thee Stallion, Nelly, Phoebe Bridgers,
right next
Jason
to Dashboard.
Isbell. Yeah, it's just wild, and that's probably what they do in spades is better than anybody else. But on the festival scene anyway, Lawless probably close. But yeah, this is. I would definitely drive anywhere in New England to see this.
Yeah,
and I would definitely see it in my home state. I'm not sure I'm flying to see this in particular. So I'm gonna give it like a B minus.
So Nate, I don't know all those lineups from the old Bonnaroos, but are there any legends in this? Like the
Foos?
They're probably the most legacy act here.
Yeah, you got Incubus buried in there a little bit.
But like classics. Like who are the big names you saw back in the big names you saw back in the day?
Oh man,
like a couple of them.
A couple. Pearl Jam.
Well, there
Metallica.
You go. Perfect. That you just nailed it. There's nothing like that here. The closest thing is Foo Fighters, and then after that, geez, you might have to go to the Deftones. Yeah. Not to say
for us for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Not to say what's here isn't good. There's something for everyone. I'm in the same kind of vein here where I'd go to Massachusetts for this. I probably wouldn't go beyond that. Just because for me, like that first day, Friday, there's there's like 7 or 8 rows of artists. The bottom 4 you can keep. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't, I'd rather them not be there. Like to me, that's a distraction. No offense to any of those bands. I'm glad you're on it and I hope people check you out, but
Well, and we may like some of that. We just don't. I've heard of none of it.
Exactly. And maybe that's on us. But there's great variety Friday. Saturday's pretty good. I'm not into Sunday.
All right, I have two things looking at Saturday. There's a band on the bottom line called Almost Monday, and why would you want anything to do with Almost Monday on a Saturday?
Well, they're next to the band Lick.
Lick, that's the other thing I was going to say. Yes, they're next to the band Lick, which is, I'm not sure, depending on the music, is either a Bandicap or a Band Vantage, and I don't know.
But like, take this band Seven Lions. Do you know who that is? They're on the same level as Incubus.
Nope.
And then you get like Nelly and Dashboard, who are lower in a different day, but lower in the tier. I would say C+ for me. It'd have to probably be in state or the next state over. And it would be like I'd get maybe 2-day tickets and wouldn't get the whole pass.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's actually something I was thinking about when I was looking at this. It's like, it's different when it's an overnight festival because you're committing, like you're there. You don't even leave. In fact, you can't even, I mean, you can leave Bonnaroo, but it's a pain in the ass. So you just kind of stay. So like, you're kind of trapped. So like, you better like a majority of the music or be willing to check out some new stuff. But this is like stuff I've seen or stuff that I'd almost rather see outside of the festival. Like I'd almost rather see Foo Fighters at an arena or something.
Right.
That's a good point.
Ironically.
That's a great
Or
point.
Deftones headlining somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I want a little PSA here. We probably should have either started with it or finished with it, but I'm gonna do it right in the middle because we make the rules. We're not dissing any of these bands we don't know. We're just giving an opinion on what the bill looks like and if it draws us to go see it.
Yeah.
If there's something we're missing here and there's something that you feel really passionate about, hit us up and tell us what to listen to. I want to check stuff out. So if you're like, oh man, check this. You know, the band Lick is awesome. Check this EP out or check this album out. Or you don't know what you're listening to. You've never listened to Spock. Okay, cool. Give me what I need to listen to by Spock. Like, I want to know this stuff. We're open. Our ears and our eyes are open for that stuff. But we're just trying to, as an exercise, figure out if we'd see this. So we're not dissing your favorite band. Don't get mad.
No,
like
it's a good
disclaimer.
Call. Yeah, it's a good call out. Because, I mean, even look at the last day, Sunday, like Julian Baker's the 4th row in, and she's fantastic. Yeah. So there's a lot of gems in here. There's only so much time in the day, and I haven't discovered them.
There's so much music out there. It's crazy.
All right, so we hit that one?
Yeah. We got a couple left. We got, 3 left? All right.
Yeah.
Let's do Riot Fest.
Okay.
Chicago, Douglas Park in September as well. So your September is pretty full if you're checking out a lot of these festivals. It is September 12th, no, 17, 16, 17, 18, 19. And they did something funny, right? We were talking about it before we came on tonight. They announced this lineup and they announced that they're having My Chemical Romance next year, which is kind of, I mean, it's cool. My Chem was supposed to do a bunch of reunion shows before the pandemic hit, right around when the pandemic hit. So fans of that band have been clamoring for them to do something, and it was going to happen. And now, you know, hopefully for them and everybody that's involved, you'll get to see them at a festival as big as Riot Fest next September. So kind of weird they announced that already, but at the same time, cool.
Yeah, very interesting. I think it's to get eyeballs on this, and honestly, maybe even to, probably just to sell tickets for this year, or maybe even get people to confuse the two.
Yeah, right. Buy it now. Oh wait, that's next year.
But I think this stands on its own.
Oh God!
Before I get my take, Nate, you were going to say something.
Yeah, and I think you might have answered your own question. Tone is my what is it? My Chemical Romance. I was going to say My Morning Jacket. My Chemical Romance was supposed to headline Aftershock Festival, one of the 4 days. This is one we're not talking about tonight, in Sacramento, and they dropped off, and the Misfits replaced them. So I almost feel like it was probably just an awareness to anyone that bought tickets to Riot Fest this year, like, hey, they are coming, but it's postponed till next year. So either hold on to your tickets or don't worry, like they're definitely going to headline, just not this year. / let's try to get some pre-sales in. Like, why the fuck not?
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of dialing back to the whole cruise experience. If you've ever been on a cruise, they give you the hard sell to book your next cruise on that cruise, and they'll give you a discount. So that's probably there'll be sign up sheets at this one. Sign up for my account next year.
That's probably because they want, like, we've got you. You can't go anywhere. Let's put this in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, dude, I'm on this cruise. Can I have fun on this one before you're trying to book me on the next one? Like, slow down.
Exactly. Like TikTok,
right.
It's moving too quick. I just want to enjoy this thing first. Like,
exactly. Yeah. Right. And like, I actually kind of liken that back to, we talked to Lauren Wayne about that Mumford and Sons show on the prom in Portland back, geez, what, 9 years ago. They did fireworks at the end of it, and I, like an idiot, pulled my phone out and tried to record the whole thing. Like I've never seen fireworks before, first of all, and secondly, I didn't hit record because I may have had a couple of drinks and there was no food. So I didn't record any of it, and I was like, cool, I didn't even get to like enjoy them in the moment because I'm being an idiot looking through my phone. So just enjoy the moment you're in and don't worry about next year's cruise.
There you go.
Rant over.
All right, Tone, I want to hear your thoughts on this one.
This is my favorite lineup of the 6 we're looking at tonight. This one goes down to the middle of it, and I'm like, yes, I want to see that band. Yes, I want to see that band. Like, Nails is a big headliner, Smashing Pumpkins, Run the Jewels. Those 3 alone, you got me in the door. I'm stoked. Never seen Run the Jewels. I've seen Nails a bunch. I've seen Smashing Pumpkins at least once. Probably not the iteration they are right now, but Nate and I saw them back at the State Theater like 8 years ago. So small venue to see them, which was really cool. Pixies, I've seen them. Awesome. Faith No More, never seen them. Would love to see them. Coheed, Taking Back Sunday, Sublime, Newfound Glory, Thrice. Yeah, I mean, it just keeps going for me. Like, these are all bands that I love, want to see live, and they're all in the same 4-day stretch. So I would fly to this one. I give this one like an A.
Yeah, man, I think I'm with you. In fact, Riot Fest has been on my wish list for festivals for years, since its inception, because I think Riot Fest, I'm going to say it right now, is a nerd's fest. Like, they dig deep and get some stuff that like is well-rounded, but also kind of like across the map in terms of like different genres and whatnot. But it's always like the cream of the crop. And even if it's not like super name brand, like, oh, I know that band, I'll check it out just for the fact that they're even on the bill. And you're right, you got Mr. Bungle on there, Lupe Fiasco. Like, those are like, if you know kind of thing. Well, Mr. Bungle's pretty big, I guess. And you look at some old Riot Fest lineups, like, they're always solid. This festival's killer. And they used to be they used to do like 3 dates in 3 different markets, and now I guess it's just Chicago. But I agree with you, down to like the smaller print bands, like I would give this a solid A for sure. And there's something to be said about presentation. Like, this is like a easy to digest concert menu. Like, yeah, like that. Like some stuff like the Bonnaroo one we were just looking at, it almost gets like too overwhelming, like a Cheesecake Factory menu. Like, is it good? I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna get the regular.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give it an A.
A few thoughts. Best lineup so far, and I think it's going to be for all these that we're diving into. I definitely fly out for it, and who knows, maybe I can finagle that somehow. But Nate, you brought up a great point about presentation. This is the only festival lineup that we've seen so far. It might change here, but so far where it doesn't break it down by day, which if you took the Louder Than Life lineup and just stacked it like this, it would look even more stacked, where you didn't divide it by day. You just had, I mean, it'd be like 4 layers of like massive names, or even more. So I think that has that going for it. But like Thursday's near the bottom. You know, Anti-Flag is in the microscopic print here.
Yeah, there's some good names in even that.
I would be curious to see how they break this down, because there's some variety here. There's some hip hop, there's some Warped Tour stuff, there's legacy acts. An A. Sign me up. Maybe I'll go.
Another bandicap. I like pulling bandicaps out of here just because there's so many band names, and like, you came up with Hospital Bracelet as your band name. Like,
is that real?
It's on the bottom. Okay.
I thought you were gonna go for Beach Bunny.
No, Beach Bunny. Yeah, I mean, I people like them. I've never listened. I do know people that are fans. No, Hospital Bracelet sounds like a bad time. Does it not?
All right.
Yeah. Negative connotation. What about
that's
Just
my
Friends?
issue. That's my issue there. Yeah.
Just Friends right above it.
Just Friends is not as bad as Hospital Bracelet.
Yeah.
Well, then there's another band, Real Friends. They're not on this, but
Right.
it's just
Yeah, like okay, we'll be Just Friends then. Oh, Real Friends. No, they're taken. Okay, Just Friends. How about maybe Friends?
friends with benefits. How about that?
Friends with benefits, exactly. Why is there not a Friends with benefits? There probably is, but
Yeah, this is akin to more like a European festival where you got like literally like Gogol. Is that how you say it? Gogol Bordello?
Yeah.
Yeah, which they're great, by the way. To like, Devo, to like Faith No More, to
I know Devo's
Yeah.
in there. You don't even think about it. Faith No More,
I
Devo,
know.
Mr. Bungle. Okay, perfect. Let's go. I'd like to see those three.
Pixies.
exactly.
All right, so we're all flying to this. We're all giving it an A, right?
Yep.
Yep. If we get comp passes for the Patio Slave podcast,
Oh
I'm
yeah, I'll
down.
quit my job. Yeah, I'll just quit my job. We'll go. I'm kidding.
I kid.
All right, we got two left, right?
Let's save probably the biggest one for the end.
Yeah, let's do Rockville now.
Rockville,
Okay.
Daytona Beach, November. So later in the year, but you get the Florida heat. 4-day festival?
Mm-hmm.
9 Inch Nails, Deftones, Cypress Hill, Metallica, Rob Zombie, Social D, Disturbed, Offspring, Stained, Mudvayne, Skinnerd, Metallica, Mastodon, and
Metallica doing another double dip here.
Yep.
I mean, this is very similar to Louder Than Life.
It is with a couple of differences that I like. Like Deftones isn't on Louder Than Life, right?
Correct. Yep.
Mhm.
Neither is STP.
Oh wow.
Neither is
Social
Social
D.
Neither is Social D. Neither is Rob Zombie. Yeah, Offspring. Like there's some changes. There's some good changes. Skinnerd. There's some changes.
Yep. Mastodon. Yeah, this one's pretty solid. I think this one actually is maybe better. It's hard to tell. They also do it by the day on this poster, so it's hard to really gauge. I wonder why they do that. Anything with nails, I'm down. So I'm in already on that. You got Deftones looking like they're probably going to go on before nails, so that's like almost like a double bill just for that night alone. Yeah, Metallica double dipping again. Something to be said about that. I guess it must be Lars trying to cash in a check.
The bottom does have a fine print. Two nights, two unique sets from Metallica. So that's their selling point.
That's what it says for
Okay.
Louder Than Life. So this could be
Yeah.
same promoter.
Same
I don't know.
promoter, huh? Nate. He talked about that a little bit.
Same. Different, but same. I'm going to give this a B plus.
All right.
Actually, no, I'm going to give it an A minus.
Would you fly to see this, Nate, or would this be a drive to one for you?
I would drive to this. I don't think I would fly to this, mainly because I don't want to fly to Florida. And I live
Poor
there, so
Florida. Yeah, that's
any
probably
Florida
why.
fans, no offense.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go back. Yeah, A minus, mainly because of nails and Metallica. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I think this is so close with Louder Than Life. Like I'm
Yeah.
comparing the lineups, and yeah, man, I think I'd probably prefer Louder Than Life. Although you get Deftones with Rockville, but there's some like, I'm not a Skinnerd guy. I've never been like a big Mudvayne guy. So like the last day of Rockville, it's got Code Orange, Mastodon, Anthrax, Metallica. I mean that's solid. Yeah, maybe I'm backpedaling. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday
Yeah,
doesn't
the Mice and Men.
wet my whistle too much. Man, I'm gonna go B minus, and I'd prefer Louder Than Life over this one.
Wow, I think that's a hot take. I actually think this is better. For me, anyway, I think this one's better. I would give this one an A minus, similar to Nate, and I might fly to Florida to see this. I mean, I like the Offspring a lot. I love the Deftones. STP, I'd be interested to see how they're doing it now.
Right.
Post Wyland and Chester. But I've never seen same with Skinnerd. I've never seen Skinnerd. It's not the same. I've never seen Metallica. Would like to see those bands. But yeah, this because it probably the Deftones and the Deftones part of it that Thursday is probably what gets me over the top for Rockville versus Louder Than Life. And I might fly to see this one. It's not on the Riot Fest level for me, but it's close. Also, Bandicap, Dead Sarah.
Totally.
Just name yourself Dead and like spell it differently.
What about NASCAR Aloe?
Yeah, that's not very good either.
Yeah, it fits Florida, Daytona Beach. Twan, I got to say something, because now that you mentioned comparing it to the other one, like if they just combined these two festivals and picked the better of the supports, you'd have like a flawless festival, maybe. You know,
Yeah.
Swap out a few, like switch a few around and just drop a few. You would have like this immaculate festival. I mean, that's like you said, Tone's very subjective, but yeah, I'm just looking at it in that lens now.
We could put these two together, and we would make an immaculate festival for us for sure.
Oh yeah, Dreamfest. And little inside baseball, as Twan says, I 99.999% know that it's the same promoter, because I saw something on Wes Borland's Instagram. I can't remember. I think it's Indigo Flow, where he says Danny at the Milk Bar. That was like a little venue in Jacksonville. And that guy that ran that little venue now is a promoter and puts on these huge, massive festivals.
Nice.
So, yeah, so I think it's the same.
So, Nate, internet sleuthing once again to find out what's going on behind the scenes, because that's what the nerds do here at the Patio Slay podcast.
Dude,
But
I nerd deep.
Mm-hmm. I also like that there's a band named Hero the Hero, and then there's a band named Hero the Band on 2 different days.
What about Amigo the Devil?
I just saw that.
Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. Oh boy. Yep. So there are good names out there still, guys. Some of them are not taken. Some of them have gone this route.
Spin the wheel on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Have you heard of the Beastie Boys and Rise Against collabo project called Brass Against?
Okay, you joke, but Brass Against is awesome.
I've never heard of it.
I sent this to you guys months ago. They do a bunch of covers. It's a brass band with they're female fronted, and they've covered like Rage. They've covered Tool. They are fucking awesome. I would actually like to see them, and I will send you more videos, and you'll watch them hopefully this time.
Let me guess. Nate saw all of them.
Doubt it.
I'm writing this stuff down.
Yeah, I'll write it down. Now. Yeah. I can't wait for the text like 6 months from now, and it's like, bro, what was that band you told me about? I can't remember. Like, yeah, I mean, I've told you about a million bands, bro. I can't remember.
Home Safe rules, man.
Yeah, check out Home Safe. But yes,
it's all
they
about
are cool.
The physical list.
Physical. What do you want me to snail mail a recommendation?
You write them down when I tell them to you. You have a notes app on your phone. Like, just do it.
True that. True life.
You know what else is funny? Go back and listen to our podcast where I've told you about bands, and
True. The ultimate note.
There's only 63 episodes of it now. Like, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of time for you to be like, oh yeah, I remember Tone talking about that band. I should probably check them out.
We're getting old. 63 episodes.
No, just you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a memory thing. I can't remember.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that leaves us with one more, right?
One more. What do we got, Nate?
The Granddaddy.
Yes, another one I've gone to many. I'm trying to think. Lollapalooza is the one we're talking about. I've gone to Lollapalooza 3 times, I believe. Different iterations. And it's always been the festival in Chicago. So like you said, Twan, I guess you were alluding to like a one-day festival. This is a stationary festival in Chicago now. Lollapalooza started as a touring festival in the 90s as a farewell tour for Jane's Addiction back in the day. And now it's a standalone festival, not only in Chicago, it's actually international in Europe and South America as well. So it's a franchise now, which is really cool. And yeah, looking at this lineup, it just dropped, and it's pretty good. I'm also comparing it to the ones I've seen, so I gotta always go on that bias. You got Foo Fighters, Tyler, the Creator, Miley Cyrus. You got Journey in there, which is kind of cool. And Limp Bizkit, Modest Mouse. I'm kind of going through this list fast just because I'm kind of skimming it here. Steve Aoki, Jimmy Eat World. This is another one where like it's so condensed it's hard to read it, but I'd have to say based on what I've seen, this is good. And I think for a long time Lollapalooza was following like this brand of like we're 90s, so we're gonna stick with 90s bands, and I think they may have kind of run out of headliners. They've gone through all the headliners at that point. So now they're, you got Post Malone on there. People want to see nowadays, Miley Cyrus. So I think I would see this if it was local. If it was in the state, I'd be there all day. Traveling to Chicago again, I don't think I'd be there. And overall, compared to what I've seen for Lollapalooza, I'd give this a C plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our sentiments are very similar. There's
Yeah.
a ton of bands here, but again, kind of same comment as the other festival, where like once you get into like after a third of the way down, there's only a couple names I recognize. Like I actually recognize Emotional Oranges. That's a group that Rory from formerly of the Joe Budden podcast manages, but that's just by happenstance. But the headliners, there's some good stuff here, no doubt. Foos, Post Malone, Limp Bizkit. I still never seen them. I'd be interested in that. Jimmy Eat World, Journey, Angels and Airwaves is pretty relatively lower than I thought they would be on this. Band of Horses is good. I'd see All Time Low, Modest Mouse for sure. But then you have like kind of the festival mainstays. You got Meg Thee Stallion, you got Jack Harlow, who I'd check out. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go see them on their own. This is an in-state, yes. I don't think I'd cross state lines for this one, and I wouldn't probably pay the Lolla premium. So I would say C+.
I'm probably gonna go. We're all kind of in agreement here. I think, especially as far as Lollapalooza goes, like the name Lollapalooza, I'm expecting big things from, right?
Yep.
Just like you are Bonnaroo, just like you are any of those, the any massive band name thing you're expecting more from. So I'm like B-. I've seen Foos, never seen Post, would love to see Post Malone. Tyler the Creator's never really been anything I've been into. Doesn't mean that it's not good. He is this year festival like king. He's all over stuff. So same with Meg Thee Stallion, right? Like she'd be. I'd be excited to see her. And then I've never seen Journey. It'd be cool to see Journey. But then it starts to fall off for me too. There's some like Band of Horses, like Twan said's good. Love Jimmy Eat World. Would love to see Jimmy Eat World wherever, whenever. I'm down for that. But then, it's just a bunch of bands. I'm not really sure who a lot of these bands are.
Yeah.
Some of the name, like Almost Monday. You're back, guys.
They must be good then.
Change the name to like Almost Friday. Like
the weekend was
way
taken.
more happy. Yeah, the weekend was taken. Good call, Nate.
Taking Back Sunday was taken.
Thursday's taken. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We're running out of names here. And I have, there's a band called Say My Name, which I guess, okay. It is your name.
Beyonce fans.
The other one, right. They're big Destiny's Child fans. What was it? The Blueberry? Not Blueberry, excuse me. Brownies and Lemonade All-Stars. That's a handicap. Say that 10 times fast. So, that was kind of the fun that I had looking through these, was finding band names. I was like, what the hell are you thinking?
But you never know. They might be amazing, especially if they're on a festival. That means like they had to get through some, jump through some hoops basically to get on this bill.
Yeah. I'm totally judging a book by its cover. Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah. They might know someone. I'm a little biased, kind of like the Bonnaroo thing. Like I'm very biased. I'm trying to go my memory here. I went to 2005, 2007, and 2009, I believe, for Lollapalooza. 2005 was like killer lineup. 2007 was pretty decent, and 2009 was the first time I saw Soundgarden live, so I was very stoked on that. But like I said earlier, like Lollapalooza was very much like a 90s theme. Like it was like, you had Pearl Jams, the Nine Inch Nails, the, kind of traditional 90s headliners. So it was like I was going for that 90s OG thing. But obviously it's morphed into catering to whatever's big. I mean, you got Post Malone as a headliner. That would never happen like 5 years ago. So
yeah. Again, I'm not shitting on any of these bands. I may like them. I'm just kind of, the names kind of make me laugh. I think they're handicaps. Like we could do better. Like how do you even say JXDN? What is it? Juxton? I'm not even sure what's going on there.
Mixum tune, MXM tune.
Yeah, so that's if you're trying to become big, like the name does help. It can be important. The other thing is there's somebody in the middle of this lineup that might be a headliner at some of these festivals in 3 years, which is That's wild to me. And maybe I'll know more music by them and be a gigantic fan at that point. So who knows? And that I love. That's the cool stuff about this. Is there's a band right now on all of these festivals that we just talked about that's going to rise to, the higher level, and they're going to turn into something that we've all taken notice to. So I'm excited about that stuff.
Goth Babe.
Yeah, it might be Goth Babe.
Yeah. Nate, and I don't have the history with this festival that you do. Obviously, I've never been. I just can't help but be disappointed by this lineup.
Yeah.
And I would assume it's even amplified even more for you, just given that you've been, and there's been a lot of mainstays in the past. And this is, like, I remember Lollapalooza getting, like, announced on, like, MTV News and stuff like that. And this, I don't know, did this just kind of slide under the radar? Or was just today, right?
Today or yesterday, yeah. So a couple days ago now that you guys are listening to this. It's it feels like we're shitting on it. We're not. Like, this is awesome. The fact that these things are happening and they're back, and that you're getting all these bands in one place to play music, and people, there's somebody that likes, Hines or likes Mick Jenkins that is super stoked to see them on this tour, on this festival. So awesome. Like that's the positivity we want to take out of this. Is it's just going to be cool to have all this stuff back. But yeah, we're for Lolla expected a little bit more probably.
Yeah. I think it's good that we're highlighting the fact that we're a little biased because we're like mid-30s, right? Yeah. So in terms of like band,
let me check. Yeah, still mid-30s.
Yeah, getting up there. Maybe even or
we'll leave it there.
Late 30s.
Just leave it. We're stopping. We're not having any more birthdays. We're done.
Yeah. But we're like, speaking of Bandicap, like Limp Bizkit's not a good band, so trust us. Like we're Bizkit fans, or me and Tone are. Twan, I don't know.
No, I am.
And they are a
been.
good band. I love
Just
those guys.
After a certain point in their discography, the wheels fell off and they crashed and burned, and yeah.
And then they put out Gold Cobra and fucked everybody up.
But I'm trying to think, like, when we were in our heyday, like, 1999 or whatever, were people, 35 around then, like, thinking Limp Bizkit, that's a terrible band name. I'm not going to check them out on this festival bill. Like, let's say Ozfest, they're like, support band. I'm not going to check out that fucking band. And in terms of Lollapalooza, really good call, because it's a legacy festival that was, like, world renowned, at least in the States, for having these kind of like iconic festivals, like basically like a 90s version of like Woodstock, like very iconic. Ice-T, Nine Inch Nails, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, like just like so many 90s bands, and like they were all good. Even like the support bands were good. I think radio's music was different then, because even the supports, it was also a smaller bill. I think it was like the Lollapaloozas in the 90s were like 15 bands total, rather than like a stacked lineup where like things get buried. So it definitely takes away from the legacy in the sense that it was like simple. It was like a very on brand for what it represented. Now it's more of like I said earlier, a franchisee. Like you can basically see Lollapalooza in Brazil, and maybe see like
it's everywhere.
See three headliners from the US, and then a bunch of bands, who knows, maybe from Brazil proper. I don't know. So it's changed. It's basically just it's a holding company name, and they just throw a bunch of stuff together. So
I have a couple quick thoughts. One, what happened to Boston Calling? And in that same vein, what happened to Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah, both great points. Obviously, Calling isn't going to happen this year, I would assume. Or if it's going to happen, they got to announce it now.
It's usually this month, May.
Yeah, and then Rage, I don't, because they're not on any of these. They could be a surprise last minute addition, but that wouldn't be in the promoter's best interest, because they're going to sell.
Oh, God, no.
Probably sell these out anyway without them.
Like I would like this Lolla announcement. Imagine if Rage is on it.
Changes the game.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, it's A+ for all of us just because of them, and then we're gonna try to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially that time of year. Like I'm absolutely all in to go to Chicago in late July, early August to see Rage Against the Machine and all of the other stuff that's happening here. So
that's a good point. Lollapalooza 2007. I don't have it pulled up on my phone, but by memory, it was like Rage Against the Machine, Kanye West, and Nine Inch Nails were headliners. I mean, boom, I'm in with those three. Like fuck.
Yeah, it's a different. This is missing a couple big names for me. So yeah,
well, maybe they'll come. Maybe we're just waiting to iron out the details.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. I mean, this is if it's happening in my state, I'm there. Otherwise, I think I'll probably pass this one.
All right, I think that's a good spot to wrap there. Huh? Festivals are back, music's back. You know, the world is healing. We're having it, guys. Right, the things are happening.
Yeah, and I'm grateful because now we're being picky choosy again. When before we'd say we'd go to anything, now we're like C+.
I mean, I'm going to if these are in my home state, I'm going to all of them. So
yeah, true.
We live in Maine. You might get more of that out your way, man.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna backpedal on this. Like, would I go see any and all of these? Absolutely. It's just if the cards worked out, if you know what I mean. But like,
yep.
Who am I to pick and choose? Like, this is fantastic. All these.
It's great.
If these are in front of me, I'm watching. If Nate buys my ticket.
I wonder how many of them are going to be, hey, it's sold out or blacked out in Chicago, but we can see them live, you know, on the internet. I bet we see some of that too. So we might be able to catch some of this stuff anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of Ticketmaster verified resale stuff going on too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna say with the Rage thing earlier, I was gonna say don't jinx it. They did postpone the tour for 2022, so 2022 might be more stacked than this year with regards to festivals. So.
It will be. You're right. There are bands that are missing from these that we would have seen had it been a regular year. So
yeah, save your money.
2022 might be even better. But no, go see shows. Go support your local indie venues that are opening back up and putting shows on. Like, let's get this stuff going again. Let's get those smaller bands to the point where they can play on this bill and then play on that bill and then be higher up on the bill. Let's do that stuff. Cool. Thanks, guys. Check us out on the socials, Podioslave Podcast, gmail.com, Twitter, Instagram, @PodioSlave. You got a YouTube page. You got a TikTok. We're everywhere. Check us out. We're putting all kinds of content at you. So hit us up on any of those spots. So we'd love to hear if there's something on these festival items that we didn't talk about that you love and you want us to listen to. You know, shoot us an email. Hit us up in the DMs. We're down.
Absolutely. Good to talk with you guys. Stoked that live music is back, and can't wait to be at the shows with both you guys and anyone listening. Let's go check it out.
Call our bluff on who we missed. Some of those names we made fun of. Call us out. They'll probably end up being our favorite band, but let us know. See you next week.
Seriously, yeah.
Peace, potheads.
Cheers.